In my case, money matters. Next time on Philosophy Talk.
Cash rules everything around me. Queen, get the money. Dollar, dollar bill, yo.
Listen to Philosophy Talk today at noon on KSJE 90.9 FM, Farmington. KSJE is supported by San Juan Regional Medical Center, here for you, providing safe, quality care. Stay informed on the COVID-19 developments to protect yourself and your loved ones at sanjuanregional.com or the COVID-19 information line at 505-516-0938 or 888-949-5387. San Juan Regional Medical Center, caring for the Four Corners since 1910. Eleven minutes past 8 o'clock. It is Tuesday morning, April 28th. Good morning, everybody. I'm Scott Nicklin. Thanks for tuning in to KSJE 90.9 FM over the air in San Juan County, 103.3 FM over the air in Durango, and of course you can listen everywhere from our website, ksje.com. Welcome also to our viewers who are joining our visual radio program by watching it on the KSJE YouTube channel and Facebook page. We're glad that you are with us, everyone. Coming up in the next few moments, we'll get an update from Bloomfield Schools Superintendent Dr. Kim Mizell. She is standing by here in Studio A to talk with me about how the school year is wrapping up for the Bobcats and what lies ahead for the fall and over the summer. So we'll be talking with Dr. Mizell in just a moment. Later on this hour, we'll be checking in with Amber Francisco from the Farmington Regional Animal Shelter and showing you some of the pets available for adoption this week, including the dog on the screen right now who has a very peculiar name of Petunia Pig. But we'll find out what's behind that coming up today at 8:50 a.m. on KSJE. At 9 o'clock, it's our local coronavirus information program. Megan Cullip will be joining me here as we co-host that program Monday through Thursday every morning at 9 a.m. It's streaming live on our YouTube channel and Facebook page at 9. You can listen to it on the radio every afternoon at 5. Today, we're going to be talking to some local chaplains about their job during all of this, and also getting an update from the city of Farmington about an economic forum they're having later on this week. On the radio side of things at 9, Mick Hess is roving with the arts, as he always is, weekday mornings at 9, and today it's Tuesday. He is playing more Bach cantatas for us, working his way through all of the Bach cantatas on Tuesdays for us on KSJE. The coronavirus program on the radio at 5:06 p.m. this evening, and don't forget, you can also connect with us on Twitter and Instagram as well. Here's the weather forecast. We're going to talk a little bit about the red flag warning in effect for parts of New Mexico because of our high winds and warm temperatures this afternoon. We could see gusts up to 45 miles per hour today with sunshine and 80 degrees for a high. Windy overnight with a low of 42. It'll be sunny tomorrow with a high of 83. Partly sunny and 87 on Thursday. Sunshine 87 on Friday. Sunshine and 86 on Saturday before things drop a few degrees with a high of 82 forecast for Sunday. Well, let me turn to my guest who is here with me this morning from the Bloomfield School District. Superintendent Dr. Kim Mizell is here. Dr. Mizell, welcome back.
Good morning. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good to have you here. And things are going for Bloomfield schools. I mean, what's the update?
Well, the parents are taking advantage of the packets that we have at Farmers, and we're doing the online opportunity for students, and as far as I know, they are taking advantage of that as well. I know my daughter gets on and she does her work, and she's able to do it pretty quickly, actually, so that's a good thing for her. She's gotten all kinds of different projects she's been working on this year.
Very good. But part of that was that you were trying to give work then to families who had online access, but also for families who maybe couldn't get online easily, and that was the reason behind the packets, right?
Right. What we found, we went ahead and called our parents and kind of did a internet availability, whether they had the technology available, and about 78% of our parents did have that, but the question that we failed to ask was, do they have a printer? And
right.
so it came back that we needed to produce more packets, which is about 200 packets per grade level for a week lesson. And so they've been picking those up quite regularly, and so they're taking advantage of that. And 200 is about how many we have per class.
Wow.
So,
right. And shout out to Farmers who were partners with you to give you shelf space.
Right. It has been a great partner. We appreciate their support, and it seems to be working pretty well. So we're pleased with the results of that, and hope the parents are taking the time to work with their kids. Most of our information that we're putting together is more of a review. In Bloomfield, we have a pacing schedule that they've really covered the essential standards by the third quarter, because usually we're testing around
this is testing season. Right. That's right.
And so what we did is we looked at the common interim assessments that we have within district and saw where our students were possibly struggling a little bit more, and so we're hitting on those standards for this last quarter, so for review.
Gotcha. And so, and again, your teachers are have moved everything online, and they are reaching out to your students, and all of those things. That it's this new world that we're in.
Yes, they have office hours. Some of them have a recorded lectures that they're doing, and then sending out the work that they can collect as far as students. And I saw kindergarten lesson done online, and it was pretty hilarious. A little boy that I know.
Hilarious in a good way?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was, imagine kindergartners sitting still trying to pay attention, and it was show and tell. And so a little guy had his basset hound, which was bigger than him.
Oh, cute.
He was trying to put him on the computer and the screen, and then he had facts about the basset hound, which was well done. So he did a great job. He knocked it out of the park. But,
nice.
It was super cute, and the teacher really worked hard to try to maintain focus and get them through the lesson. So, they're really trying, and so I appreciate that. And a lot of them have gone above and beyond what we expect to try to reach out to the students for social emotional needs of the kids, to see their teacher and have an opportunity to learn and see their classmates. So it seems to be working okay.
That's great. Well, very good, and kudos to everybody. Another thing I want to ask you about is something I ask you about every year at this time, and that is your perfect attendance policy, and then the thing that you do for a couple of your students who actually have perfect attendance throughout the entire school year, and that's continuing this year, right, with some vehicles.
We have the 2 vehicles that we advertise all year, and I've had quite a few parents wondering what we're going to do about that.
Right.
And so we decided to cut the attendance date down to pre-spring break.
Right.
And so we have 20 students that are eligible. And so we're trying to figure out how to do a ceremony of the drawing of the individuals who will win the vehicles, and practice social distancing. So we're trying to figure that out. We're thinking
might just have to throw the keys at them, whoever wins.
Yeah,
I don't know
we're
if you got
thinking
any.
if they lift some of the restrictions May 15th, we can do it sometime after that.
Gotcha. But that's exciting, and I know a lot of your students, it is a great incentive to maybe keep some of your students coming to class who otherwise would maybe not do that. And even now, I imagine there's still some type of attendance, but the official total is through spring break.
Right.
And so
we did actually took our cutoff on grades for the, we gave them an extra about 17 days to catch up on work, and then we cut off the grades. We're not doing the grading system or pass-fail. That's their grade.
Mm-hmm.
And so...
and a lot of districts are doing that too, aren't they?
It's kind of all over the place what's happening. Actually, we had the option as a district to make our own decisions, which we appreciate the state providing that. However, some districts they have the better capability with technology, whereas Bloomfield does not have one-to-one. And also, we can give them a computer, but if they don't have internet, there's an issue with that. And we have quite a few students that live south of Bloomfield that don't have access. And so my biggest concern was that we wanted to have the most equitable plan that we could possibly have. And so we weren't able to continue new learning this year with the situation that we're in. And so we came up with this plan, and I feel it's working for the families. And I'm hearing the stress level of families where they have only one computer and they have 3 kids and they all have to get on, and the office hours are kind of around the same time for the teachers. So we had a conversation about that too, actually yesterday with the principals, that we'll probably be adjusting some of that type of office hour schedule so that it's a little more staggered, looking at some options that way.
Gotcha. A lot of this is brand new for all of us, you, me, everybody, and so there are a lot of these things that you're finding out just by doing it, and what needs to be adjusted and changed.
We learn as you go with this one. We literally put our online plan together in about a 3-day, our continuous learning plan in about a 3-day period, and then started the deployment process of prepping and planning, and so it's been at warp speed, I would say.
It has been.
But,
I think that's true.
I think it's working for now. I mean, it's not, obviously the brick and mortar classroom setting is the best for our district.
Right.
And we prefer that, but we're doing the best we can right now.
And you're getting some direction from the state in helping you to do some of these things, and some best practices and things like that.
They provided kind of a framework of what to think about and how to prep and plan, and gave guidelines with the amount of work that should be assigned by, the number of hours or minutes that the kids are working on certain content. And so we put all those recommendations on our Facebook page, and we're trying to follow those guidelines. So.
Very good. I want to ask you about graduation, because I know that's becoming a big topic among folks, especially seniors, and for your seniors. And, of course, a lot of folks have been really trying to lift up seniors from all schools, because they're missing out on a lot of things that many of us enjoyed, including a graduation ceremony. And so your ceremony's been postponed but not canceled.
That's right. My statement is that as soon as the restrictions are lifted, we will have graduation. Right now, the district is posting and give parents opportunity to send in a baby picture and a senior picture, and we're celebrating our seniors on our Facebook page, so that's going really well. I know that there's an organization, a group of people, Project Graduation, that has raised enough money to get individual banners for all the seniors, and the city of Bloomfield is donating flagpole holders, and we will be putting those out in our community to celebrate the seniors.
Very good.
And so little things that we can do. I feel terrible for the seniors and the parents of those children. A lot of them, they save their venues for graduation parties and probably prepaid for everything, and they can't celebrate that milestone for that child. And so we're hoping to celebrate them in different ways. So,
right. But you're hoping to have some type of a ceremony sometime maybe over the summer. It may not look like a traditional ceremony, or it may, depending on whatever the restrictions are in place, I suppose.
Right. My goal would to be our traditional graduation. Sure. The graduations at Bloomfield are just amazing, and like the whole town turns out, and it's a beautiful setting. And so I'm very hopeful that we will be able to have our traditional graduation. If not, we'll start planning accordingly. But my hope is that these restrictions will be lifted and we'll be able to proceed that way.
And you're hoping to do something for your seniors.
Yes.
That's important. And their parents. Mm-hmm. There you go. And families, of course. Right. Now, that leads me to the question of planning for the fall, which I imagine is already underway in your district and others around the state. And there's probably some, again, guidance from the state. And it all depends on, again, restrictions that the state is putting in or taking off, or who knows where we will be in August. But you're talking about it, right?
Yes, right now we're in discussions. Since we have this window of opportunity, we're moving forward with going ahead and prepping for the first quarter, possibly for a hybrid scenario, depending on what the situation is. If we don't return in August, what is our plan?
Right.
And it's a very different scenario with new learning. So. We're hoping to put together a team of teachers that will prep the online learning that is a little more engaging and interactive, and then we'll still have the packets as well. But we're also going to have to get a gauge on where our families are with their kids returning to school. We're hopeful that we return to the brick and mortar scenario. All of us want to get back to work and want the kids back in school. So our hope is that all the restrictions will be lifted, but if not, we better have a plan. So we're using this time to get that ready and start thinking forward. We have, I'm on a small group of superintendents that we're talking about the reentry. What should that look like? And even the conversations around COVID testing is coming up. And so we have looked into ordering Bobcat masks for the entire population and our staff. And then also looking at systems to gauge temperatures as they enter the school. So we're just doing a little kind of getting our research together, seeing what the cost would be, and kind of have a tentative plan. I don't know.
And you kind of have to be ready, right, for these two scenarios. It could be an online learning situation at the beginning of the next school year, and everybody would still do what they're doing now and staying home, or bring folks back to your bricks and mortar schools, but with different precautions.
And we may have both scenarios happening at the same time.
I didn't think about that.
Because students that maybe get COVID, they can't come in.
Right.
They still need to learn. So that's why we're doing the prep that we're doing right now.
Got you. And so, again, all this is still kind of up in the air. You haven't really committed to buying any of these things, except maybe for the masks. But you're looking at those things and really trying to see how to make that work at all of your schools. And that's important, too, because everybody has to be on the same page.
Right. And
I imagine for your teachers, too, they want to feel safe coming back to school.
We want our employees, we want everybody to be safe. Our student nutrition group, I got to do a shout out for them. They've been working ever since during spring break, making sure that food has been distributed to families on buses out in south of Bloomfield, and they have done an incredible job, and they're serving close to 1,800 meals a day. And it is.
I just want to let that number sink in to everybody that's listening and watching this morning. 1,800 meals to families in the Bloomfield School District a day, each day.
Every day.
And you turn them around and cook them up again tomorrow.
Right.
Wow.
Right. And we've been able to, once they started saying that masks were a good idea, I called my sister, who's quite the seamstress, and I said, hey, can you make me 85 masks real fast? And so I worked all weekend with my sister and my daughter and my mom. All of us pitched in, and we made our bus driver, student nutrition, and maintenance staff all fabric masks so that they had some form of protection. And we waited. We thought we were going to get PPE that week, and we actually got it 2 weeks later. So I felt really good that we were proactive in trying to protect our employees, and so I see them wearing them, so I appreciate that, and everybody taking the opportunity to protect themselves and others. So
right. No, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, and again, just goes to show the things that we don't always think about when we think about, schools are being closed, yet, you've got a lot of students that depend on those lunches, maybe, and in some cases breakfasts. And so what do you do for those? And you end up turning your school buses into almost delivery vehicles to send the meals out, right?
Right, and it's worked really well. My operations director, and I have to give a shout out to him, James Olivas, he's former military, and he used to be like a deployment person. So,
oh, well, there you go.
So he had it totally figured out, and I totally appreciate everything that he's done. It's gone pretty smooth, and few hiccups here and there, but for the most part, it's really running smoothly. And the thing that people don't realize, we're 100% socio-economically disadvantaged districts. So we've been serving breakfast and lunch for the last 4 years to our students. So parents in their budgets really only plan for one meal a day with their kids. And so when you put it in that perspective, it's really important that we get that food to these families, because they don't necessarily have it in their budgets, maybe per se. Depends on what their situation is, especially now if they've been laid off, or they're not working, they're unemployed.
Budget's even more stressed.
Exactly. So we're hoping that this, what we have done has lightened the stress for them a little bit during this time.
Right. And I haven't heard much talk about the summer meal program, but I know your district, as well as many others, take part in that, and I imagine there's conversations going on about how to do that over the summer, too, and that may be something we can talk about next month.
Well, that's through CYFD,
Yeah.
and I don't know that we'll be running the buses in the summer, so that's something that's going to have to be determined at the Department of Education, because that's
Gotcha.
a whole added transportation cost that we have not prepared for. So,
But many times folks could come to a central location to
there'll
pick
be
those up,
distribution
perhaps.
areas.
So we'll
Exactly.
see. And I know you've done, and your district has done a good job of sharing all this news of these things that are changing day by day, week by week, sometimes through your Facebook page and the website for the district.
Yes.
That's your main avenues of
Right.
information distribution, right?
Right. My office manager, Krista Burgess, and I want everybody to know her, has been managing all of our Facebook page and actually addressing any questions that have come up. She sends it to the right person to answer the question so we can reach out to families. For example, when we did the contact with families, there was a family that had no food, no water, or anything. And so we had a way to reach out to them, and also a group of teachers actually got together and got that family everything they needed. So, the humanity of what's happening during this, which is very stressful for all of us, has really shined very bright in the community of Bloomfield, in my opinion. Dale Mays, who is our school board president, has literally fed our maintenance office, our student nutrition, and our bus drivers with his amazing pizza.
Right.
And so just reaching out and doing that kind thing has been very important in our little town, and farmers being such a support.
Sure.
I've been just really impressed with everything that has happened.
We have a question on Facebook, Dr. Mizell, about cleaning and disinfecting procedures maybe for your schools if you are going to be bringing students and staff back to the buildings. I imagine your custodial staff is in the loop on extra cleaning efforts and things like that?
Yes, we actually purchased, before we kind of had a idea that this was coming, and we purchased hospital grade disinfectant, which you just spray and you leave it on and it kills all the germs. So we have literally cleaned all the schools. We're not allowing people in at all right now, except for at the high school, and we actually do the copying of the packets at Central Primary. But the janitors come in when people are entering. They come in and they clean the area that they've been in.
Gotcha.
And so we're doing heavy disinfecting and cleaning in all our schools and making sure that they're as clean as possible upon reentry.
Gotcha. And I imagine if folks are coming back in the fall, that would be almost a nightly thing that would have to be done.
Yeah.
After school.
Probably, you might see a little increase in Clorox wipe with the student list of needs, so that we can wipe down our surfaces before we leave, and then as we come back, they'll be clean. Things like that the teachers request. That's what happens with that.
Sure.
The student list that we usually give out, that's usually something on there. But
again, you are planning for maybe 2 or maybe 3 different scenarios. It could be an online situation in the fall. It could be coming back to school in the fall, or a combination of both
Hybrid.
if a student is ill.
Right.
And so that is kind of what you are going to take the summer and
Right.
plan for with your
right.
staff.
We're going to take advantage of this time.
Gotcha. Very good. Well, Dr. Mizell, thank you for coming in as always. It's always great to see you. It's great to see anybody, actually, in person these days, but I appreciate you making the trip over to talk with me about what's going on in Bloomfield schools, and we'll see you again in May.
Okay, thank you.
To wrap up the school year and maybe get some updates on what you're hearing. So,
Right.
Perfect.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you, and stay well. That's Dr. Kim Mizell, Superintendent of Schools from the Bloomfield School District, my guest here on KSJE. Back with more in just a moment, everybody. The time is 8:34.
The app House Party is turning into a surprise hit during the pandemic. How's it